In the far reaches of space, a rule had never been broken. It was called the Galactic Rule. It said this: no supercarrier shall survive FTL. FTL, faster than light travel, was the dream of every species, and many had mastered it. Small ships could jump between stars in seconds. Medium ships could jump too, but carefully. But the large ones, the giants of war, the supercarriers, they could not. Every time someone tried, the ship tore apart. Systems failed. Crews died. The jump drive could not handle the mass. The result was always the same: destruction. So the galaxy accepted it as law. A limit, that was the rule. Until humans arrived. Humanity was late to join the stars. By the time Earth launched its first interstellar ship, other empires had already ruled for centuries. The Grax Imperium, the Core Syndicate, and the Seven Suns Alliance all looked down on humans. They called them noisy, reckless, and arrogant. But humans had something the others lost. Long ago, the will to question everything. On a hidden space station near Saturn, Earth's top engineers worked in secret. Their project had one goal: to make a supercarrier survive FTL. They called it Project Goliath. The Goliath was the largest human ship ever built, over 2 kilometers long, shielded, armored. It carried fighters, drones, and thousands of crew, and now it carried a jump drive. Commander Hale stood on the observation deck, staring at the massive vessel. He was not a man of many words, but he believed in one thing. Impossible just meant not yet done. He pressed a button on his console. A screen lit up. It showed a list of failed attempts from other species ships that had tried to jump with massive frames and never returned. Hale's voice was calm. They failed because they followed the rules. He looked at his engineer, a young woman named Dr. Mara Lynn. "We don't follow," he said. "We lead," Mara nodded. Her eyes were tired, but her voice was steady. "Goliath is ready." In the Galactic Senate, light years away, the news had already spread. "Humans are trying to break the rule," said the Core ambassador. His voice was full of anger. "They will only destroy themselves," said a member of the Seven Suns. The Grax ambassador laughed. "Let them. The galaxy is better without fools." But deep down, they were not laughing. If humans succeeded, the balance of power would change forever. A supercarrier with FTL would be more than a ship. It would be a god of war. On Earth, people watched the news with mixed feelings. Some called it madness, some called it suicide, some called it hope. The launch day arrived. The crew of the Goliath stood at their stations. Most of them were young. Many had never left Earth before. Some were scared. But all of them knew this mission would be remembered forever. Commander Hale stood at the bridge. "This is not just a jump," he said. "This is a message." "To the galaxy?" Mara asked. "To the future," he answered. The countdown began. 10, 9, 8. In the control room, the jump drive hummed with energy. Lights flickered. The ship trembled. 7, 6, 5. Mara looked at Hale. He gave a slow nod. 4, 3, 2, 1. "Engage," Hale said. And then the Goliath disappeared. No explosion, no fire, just gone. The galaxy waited. Alien news channels reported it live. Commentators laughed. "They are dead," one said, "burned by their own pride." On Earth, the silence felt heavy. 1 minute passed, 2.3. Then dash at minute 24. Everything changed. A signal came through. It was clear, strong, human. "This is Goliath. We have arrived. All systems green. The room at mission control exploded with cheers. Around the world people cried, shouted, danced. They did it. Humans did the impossible. But deep inside the Goliath, Mara frowned. She was checking the ship's internal sensors. Something strange had happened during the jump. The ship's walls had recorded a frequency, a sound that had no source, a soft pulse, a rhythm, almost like a heartbeat. She showed it to Hale. "Do you hear that?" she asked. Hale listened. It was faint, deep, but it was there. He looked out the window at the stars. "We weren't alone in that jump," he said quietly. Mara whispered, "I think something saw us. In the far edge of the galaxy, past known systems, in cold space where no ship ever flew. A dark presence stirred, an ancient signal flashed. A system woke up. A voice spoke in a forgotten tongue. Protocol broken. They have made it. Begin response." Asterisk. The Goliath floated in deep space. It had survived the jump. The impossible had become real. No flames, no broken metal, no crew lost. They were in a new star system one never visited before. Around them was quiet blackness. Stars blinked slowly. In the distance, a blue gas giant spun slowly nearby. The crew of the Goliath stared at the screens in silence. No one spoke at first. Then Commander Hale said two simple words. "We jumped." The bridge burst into noise. Some cheered, some cried. Others just sat down in shock. Dr. Mara Lin, the lead engineer, looked at her console. No system failure, all readings stable. Hale gave a small nod. "Tell Earth." Back on Earth, the command center lit up. The signal from Goliath was strong. Live video came through. Commander Hale stood tall in front of the crew. "This is the Goliath," he said. "FTL jump successful. We are in a new system. We are alive." Cheers exploded. Across Earth, news channels flashed headlines. "Earth breaks galactic rule. Supercarrier survives FTL. History made today." Even in alien worlds, the news spread fast. Some refused to believe it. Some grew afraid. Some prepared for war in the Galactic Senate. Panic grew. "This changes everything," said the core representative. "If humans can move, they will control the war zones," said another. "The rule was there for a reason," warned one of the older senators. Something terrible always followed. But no one listened to the last voice. They were too busy fearing Earth. Inside the Goliath, the crew began scanning the system. No signs of life, no stations, no other ships. Just empty space and two planets. Still, the jump had worked. That alone was enough to mark history. But then something changed. The lights flickered just for 1 second. Then again, Mara looked at the jump drive readings. One line kept flashing. "Signal detected." "Commander," she said, "we're picking up something." "Strange." Hale walked over. "From where?" Mara shook her head. "It's not a normal signal. Not data. Not language. It feels like..." She paused, like a pulse. The crew began to feel uneasy. There was no sound in space. Yet some said they felt a vibration, like something was watching in the engineering deck. A technician named Felix noticed frost on a pipe. Strange, because the area was heated. He touched it. The frost moved. Not melted, moved. Like it was alive. He stepped back quickly. What the hell? Then the pipe stopped shaking, and everything returned to normal. Mara ran another scan. "There's no ship out there," she said, "but the energy readings, They're too high. From what? Hale asked. I don't know. Then another line appeared on her screen. Not alone. She froze. She had not typed anything. The computer had not received a message. The words were just there. Hale read the screen. What is that? I don't know, she whispered. Could it be a glitch? I don't think so. The words disappeared. Across the ship, lights dimmed, then brightened all at once. The gravity shifted. For half a second, people felt lighter. Then heavier. It was like something was playing with the ship. Hale opened a private channel to Earth. We may not be alone here, he said. We're receiving strange signals. Recommend alert level 2. Earth responded calmly. Copy that, Commander. Keep scanning. Stay safe. But back on Earth, the scientists had also seen something they could not explain. The jump energy had left a mark, not just on the ship, but in space itself. Like a scar in the deep parts of space, something stirred. An ancient satellite powered on. Its purpose was simple. Watch for any race that broke the rule. Its eye opened. It looked at the star system where Goliath had jumped. Then it sent a message to the far edge of the galaxy. No one knew where, no one knew what it said, but it was fast and very, very old. Inside Goliath, a crew member in the medical bay had a nosebleed. Then another. 10 minutes later, 2 people fell unconscious for no reason. Medical systems found nothing wrong. Mara started getting worried. Whatever we did with that jump, she said, I think it woke something up. Are you saying we were being watched? Hale asked. She looked down. I think we were being warned. Back on the bridge, a strange pattern appeared on the main screen. A circle of symbols, not human, not alien. The computer could not translate it. Then the symbols faded, and one word appeared in English. Return. Hale leaned forward. Is this a threat? Mara whispered, or a request? Hale looked out at the stars. He did not speak for a while. Then he gave the order, prepare the jump drive. We're heading back to Earth. As the Goliath turned, its sensors picked up one final detail. Far behind them, something large was drifting. No shape, no engine, just presence. It did not follow, but it did not vanish either. It simply waited and watched. The Goliath jumped again. The second jump felt slower, heavier. Even though the engine said everything worked fine, the crew felt something else, like space was pressing back harder this time. When the ship reappeared near Earth, the stars looked the same, but the silence was different. It was the kind of silence before a storm. On the bridge, Commander Hale stood stiff, watching the planet below. Dr. Mara Lynn was at her console again, staring at strange data on her screen. The jump completed, she said, but something followed us. Hale turned to her. Another ship. No, she said softly. Something worse. In Earth orbit, Goliath slowly moved into dock. Technicians in suits floated across space, checking the hull. Some of them stopped at a strange mark burned into the side. It was not from a weapon. It looked like a handprint, but too large, too stretched. Back in the underground base on Earth, top scientists examined the jump data. The head of research, Dr. Roland Vega, zoomed in on a piece of the jump pattern. Something was hidden in the code, like a signature. Commander Hale didn't just make history, Vega said to the others. He broke something open. What do you mean? Another asked. Vega whispered. He rang a bell, and something answered. Meanwhile, the Grax Imperium held an emergency meeting. Their spies confirmed it. The Goliath had returned from a successful FTL jump. Twice. They no longer laughed at humans. Now they feared them. The Grax general growled, "We must strike now, before they learn more, before they build more." But a message interrupted their meeting. It came from deep space. No source, no sender, just a voice. "Old, do not approach the Terran jump field. Observation active." The message repeated. The Grax cancelled their plans. Back aboard the Goliath. The crew was dismissed for rest, but few could sleep. Crewman Felix walked alone in the lower corridor, near the engine room. He heard a soft tapping, like fingers on metal. He turned around. No one was there. He kept walking. The tapping followed. Then it stopped. He ran the rest of the way in the medical bay. Another crew member, Private Leanne, reported dreams. She described stars falling into her mouth, a black shape that stretched across the sky, a voice whispering in a language she did not know, but when she woke, she could write the symbols. They matched the pattern from the screen during the first jump. Dr. Mara showed the symbols to Hale. He stared at them. "What do they mean?" She looked nervous. "I ran them through old records from alien ruins. They match ancient warnings, from a species that vanished 10,000 years ago." "What did they say?" Hale asked. She showed him one translation. "They see through time. They wait at the edge. They destroy what moves without permission." Hale leaned forward. "Who are they?" Mara only said one word: "The Veilborn." No one alive had seen a Veilborn. No one even knew if they were real. Most believed they were legends. But all legends start from something, and the Goliath had drawn their attention. At the edge of the solar system, a small, unmanned Earth drone floated silently. It had been launched weeks before Goliath's jump. Suddenly, it picked up something new. A shadow. It blocked stars, but not light. It had no heat, no speed, no mass, but the shadow moved, right toward Earth. The drone sent one final image, then its systems turned to static. On Earth, alarms rang. The signal had vanished. Scientists scrambled to decode the last image. It showed a swirl like a storm butt in space, in the center. A single black dot to perfect. To dark dot, it was not natural. It was looking right at the drone. And now it was coming. Commander Hale stood in the Goliath's strategy room. A projection showed the path of the unknown object. He spoke to his senior staff. "We made the jump. We broke the galactic rule." He pointed to the shadow. "And now something's coming." "Do we fight?" someone asked. Hale shook his head. "We don't even know what it is." Mara added, "If it is Veilborn, we may not get to fight. They erase, not attack." The United Earth Council debated sending a message of peace. Others wanted to prepare defenses, but Mara warned them all. They don't want peace. They want balance. The FTL rule was not a mistake. It was a line. We crossed it. The next day, every screen on Earth turned black. Even disconnected systems. Even paper printers. Only one message appeared. "You moved the anchor. You must answer. The Watcher is coming." The Goliath stood in orbit above Earth, like a silent mountain in space, inside. The crew waited. They had survived the impossible. They had broken the galactic rule. But now, something unknown was coming. Something old. Something angry. The computers showed no details, no shape, no ship, just a shadow moving closer from deep space. A silent storm. Commander Hale stood on the bridge, calm but tense. All systems were active. Weapons were ready. Fighters were on standby. He looked at Dr. Mara Lin. Status? He asked. She stared at her screen. There's still no signal, no heat, no mass. She paused, but the stars behind it are gone. The crew turned to the large screen. It showed the same thing, a piece of space, pure black, moving slowly across the stars like it was eating them. On Earth, panic had begun, the strange messages, the broken systems now, the darkness coming closer. The United Earth Council ordered evacuations for major cities. Satellites went dark, the military raised global alert levels, but no weapons were fired. Not yet, because they still did not know what this thing was. Then, the blackness reached the edge of the solar system, and it stopped. The silence grew heavier, as if space itself was holding its breath. Then all screens flashed again, one single word: observe. Commander Hale narrowed his eyes. Observe what? Suddenly, the space near Mars cracked. Not like metal, like glass. The crew watched in shock as a long white tear opened in space. From the tear came a ship, but it did not look like any ship ever seen. It was smooth and glowing. It had no engines, no markings, no windows. Just light and movement, like it was grown, not built. The crew fell silent. Dr. Mara whispered that's not from this galaxy. The strange ship floated toward Earth slowly. Not fast, not threatening, but confident. It stopped halfway between Mars and Earth. Then it sent a wave, not a weapon, a pulse, soft but powerful. Every screen flickered. Every human felt a chill. Even animals reacted. Birds flew in circles. Whales swam to deep water. Dogs howled. Something deep inside life itself felt the pulse then. The Goliath was hit, not by fire, not by metal, but by something they couldn't see. The lights went out. The engines stopped. Even the backup power failed. The ship floated. Cold and dead, Commander. Hale shouted, emergency restart. Manual override. But nothing worked. Mara tried to reboot systems, but the ship refused. She stared at the screen. Words appeared again, but she had not typed them. You were warned. Then the ship lit up again, but not under human control. Every screen showed moving symbols, strange shapes. Then those symbols turned into images. Pictures of planets, destroyed. Planets, fires, broken stars. Then came the final image, Earth, surrounded by fire. The crew stood frozen. The message was clear. If humans continued to break the rules, this could be their end. But then something changed. The screen showed another image. One single human, a girl, young, standing alone in front of the ship. Her hand raised, her face calm. Then the fire faded. Mara gasped. It's showing us a choice. Hale nodded slowly. Destruction, or something else. Suddenly, one of the fighter ships launched by itself. No pilot, no order. It moved straight toward the alien ship. The Goliath's AI shouted, unauthorized launch, external control detected. The fighter sped up. Weapons activated on Earth. The Council screamed through the communication lines. Stop it. Turn it around. We did not attack. But the fighter did not stop. The alien ship responded, not with guns, not with speed. It opened like a flower. And then the fighter was gone. Not destroyed, not broken, just gone, like it had never existed. Then the alien ship closed again, but this time it sent one final message, still watching, and it vanished. Just like that, the stars returned, The Goliath's power came back. All systems lit up. The crew stood still. Mara checked the data. No damage, she said. No trace, Hale said. It wanted us to understand. We are not alone. We are not ready to fight them. But they gave us a warning, not a war. Down on Earth, the panic slowly ended. But the message remained. Everyone now knew supercarriers could jump, but someone out there had a reason for stopping it, and now that reason was awake again. Later that night, Mara sat alone at her desk. She opened the jump code. She stared at the line of data that had first appeared during Goliath's jump. She zoomed in and saw a symbol she had not noticed before. It looked like an eye half-dash open, watching, waiting. A week passed. The galaxy had gone quiet. No more strange signals. No more moving shadows. No more messages from the black ship. But the silence was not peace. It was warning. The Goliath stayed in orbit. Its systems had returned. The crew was safe. But they were not the same. They had seen something no one else had. They had felt something older than time. Commander Hale sat alone in the command chamber, reading the mission report again. There were no answers, only signs, and one final line. From the AI log, still watching, in Earth's Science Command Center. Dr. Mara Lin stood in front of the council. The room was filled with military officers, scientists, world leaders. She tapped the screen behind her. It showed an image from the jump drive's memory, a symbol, one they had seen before, the eye. Mara said, "This symbol is now in our systems. It appeared after the first jump. No one put it there. No code leads to it." "Then what is it?" one general asked. Mara looked at him, a lock. The council grew quiet. She continued. "The Veilburn did not attack us. They could have. But they didn't. Instead, they showed us something. Old wars, burned planets, a path that always ends in destruction. They weren't warning just about ships," Mara said. "They were warning about us." Commander Hale joined her. They knew what FTL in a supercarrier would do. It gives power, big power. Enough to strike first, enough to win fast, enough to change balance. But power without understanding becomes ruin. He looked around the room, and they'd seen it before. One senator stood up. "So we stop now. We give up FTL carriers." Hale shook his head. "No, we don't stop. But we move forward with care." He pointed to the screen. "They gave us a chance, not a threat, a choice." Back on the Goliath, engineers found something new inside the jump drive. A line of strange codes, more hidden, buried, not human-made. It responded to a voice command from Mara. She spoke softly, and the ship changed. A new chamber opened. Inside was a core of light, floating, pulsing, warm, not cold, like alien tech. Alive, it held no weapon. Only a single message burned into its surface. "The anchor is memory. Keep it clean." The scientists were stunned. This core did not power the ship. It recorded, it remembered, every emotion during the jump, every fear, every choice. The ship had not just moved through space. It had passed through judgment, and it had passed barely on the far side of the galaxy. In a system with no name, something old sat in silence. The Veilborn watched. Earth they spoke to no one. They sent no warnings, but they remembered now. The humans were different. They pushed limits, but they felt, they feared, they hoped not. perfect, but possible. Earth began building. Again, carefully, new ships, new jump drives, all carried the eye. Symbol on the whole, not as worship, but as reminder. Goliath was renamed. It became Goliath Prime. Not a warship now, a watcher, a bridge, a message to the stars. Commander Hale stepped onto the deck one last time before retirement. He looked at the stars and smiled. They said it was impossible, he whispered. But we did it. Dr. Mara stood beside him, and we weren't alone. He nodded. We never are. Down on Earth, a child in a quiet village looked up at the night sky. She saw a star flicker, just once, and she smiled in her dream. A voice came, not loud, not clear, but soft. It said, "Your kind has moved. Now learn to stay." The future was unwritten, but Earth had made its mark. Not with war, not with fear, but with a step, a first step, into something far greater.